Jake Murphy wiped the sweat from his forehead as he pulled into the downtown Chicago delivery depot. The summer heat made his delivery truck feel like an oven, and after 12 hours of driving around the city, he was ready to go home. His uniform, shirt stuck to his back, and his feet hurt from running up and down apartment stairs all day. The parking lot was nearly empty now. Most of the other drivers had finished their routes hours ago. Jake parked his white delivery van next to the loading dock and grabbed his keys. He had one more stop to make before heading home, but this one was for himself. 3 days ago, Jake had placed an order for premium steaks from the high-end grocery service his company delivered for. He worked hard all week, and Friday night was his time to relax. He planned to fire up his small grill on the apartment balcony and cook himself a proper meal. The steaks cost him nearly a day's pay, but Jake figured he deserved something nice once in a while. The loading dock was quiet except for the hum of refrigeration units. Jake walked through the metal door and found Tom Wilson sorting packages. Behind the counter, Tom was a big guy with graying hair who had worked at the depot for 15 years. He knew every driver by name and never made mistakes with orders. "Hey, Jake," Tom called out, looking up from his clipboard. "Long day today." "Tell me about it," Jake replied, stretching his sore shoulders. Traffic was crazy downtown. 3 accidents on Lakeshore Drive alone. Tom nodded and walked over to one of the refrigerated units. He pulled out an insulated white package about the size of a small cooler. The package had Jake's name written on the label in black marker, along with his apartment address. "Here you go," Tom said, handing over the package. "Your weekend treat. Those steaks better be worth what you paid for them." Jake took the package and was surprised by how light it felt. He expected the steaks to have more weight to them, but maybe the fancy packaging made the difference. The package was cold to the touch, which was good. Nothing worse than spoiled meat after spending that much money. "Thanks, Tom," Jake said, tucking the package under his arm. "See you Monday." "Have a good weekend, Jake. Don't burn down your apartment building." Jake laughed and headed back to his truck. The drive home took 20 minutes through the evening. Traffic. He lived in a modest apartment building on the north side, nothing fancy but clean and affordable. Jake had lived there for 3 years, ever since he started working for the delivery company. He climbed 3 flights of stairs to his apartment, fishing his keys out of his pocket. His apartment was small but comfortable. A living room with an old couch facing a television, a tiny kitchen with just enough room for one person, and a bedroom barely big enough for his bed and dresser. The best feature was the small balcony that overlooked the street. Jake set the package on his kitchen counter and grabbed a beer from the refrigerator. He was looking forward to this meal. Work had been stressful lately with new management pushing drivers to make more deliveries in less time. A good steak and a cold beer was exactly what he needed. He opened his silverware drawer and pulled out a sharp knife to cut through the tape sealing the package. The white insulation was thick, designed to keep expensive food at the perfect temperature during transport. Jake had delivered hundreds of similar packages to wealthy customers across the city. When he lifted the lid, Jake expected to see 2 thick ribeye steaks wrapped in butcher paper. Instead, he found himself staring at something impossible. 2 small figures lay inside the package, curled up like they were sleeping. They looked almost human, but not quite right. Their skin was pale blue, the color of winter sky just before dawn. Intricate silver markings covered their arms and faces like delicate tattoos that seemed to shimmer in the kitchen light. Both figures appeared to be female, one slightly taller than the other. They wore clothes made of some kind of metallic fabric that Jake had never seen before. The material looked almost liquid, shifting color slightly as the light hit it from different angles. Jake dropped his knife and stumbled backward, knocking over his beer. The brown bottle shattered on the kitchen floor, but Jake barely noticed. His heart hammered in his chest as he stared at the impossible contents of the package. The smaller figure began to move. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing irises that were bright silver. She sat up slowly, looking around Jake's kitchen with obvious confusion. When she saw Jake standing there, she spoke in a language that sounded like music, mixed with wind chimes. Jake opened and closed his mouth several times, but no words came out. The figure tilted her head and touched something on her neck. A moment later, her voice changed, speaking clear English with a slight accent Jake couldn't place. "Please do not be afraid," she said, her voice soft and calm. "We mean no harm." The second figure began to wake up. She was taller and appeared older, maybe in her 20s if Jake had to guess. Her silver markings were more elaborate, covering more of her visible skin. When she opened her eyes, they were the same bright silver as her companion. "Luna," the smaller one said, gently shaking the older figure's shoulder. "We are safe. I think." Luna sat up and immediately assessed their surroundings. Her gaze fell on Jake, who was still frozen in shock near his refrigerator. She touched her neck the same way the other had, and when she spoke, her English was perfect. "I apologize for the confusion," Luna said, climbing carefully out of the package. "My name is Luna, and this is my sister Maya. We are refugees from the Rigel star system. There appears to have been an error in our transport coordinates." Jake finally found his voice. "What? How? You were in my steak package." Maya giggled, a sound that reminded Jake of small silver bells. "Steaks. We were supposed to be delivered to a safe house, but somehow we ended up here instead." Luna helped Maya climb out of the package. Both sisters were small, maybe 5 feet tall, but they moved with a grace that seemed almost impossible. They looked fragile, but Jake sensed there was more to them than appeared. Are you aliens?" Jake asked, the question sounding ridiculous even as he said it. "We are Altarians," Luna replied. "And yes, we are what you would call aliens. We have been traveling for many days to reach Earth. Our world is at war, and we had to flee." Jake looked at his broken beer bottle, then at the 2 alien sisters standing in his kitchen, then back at the empty package on his counter. This was definitely not how he had planned to spend his Friday night. 3 days passed since Jake found Luna and Maya in his kitchen. He called in sick to work, something he had never done before in 3 years of driving for the company. The sisters needed time to recover and explain their situation, and Jake needed time to accept that his life had completely changed. Luna and Maya slept on Jake's couch, taking turns keeping watch through the night. They explained that their species needed less sleep than humans, and they were still worried about being tracked. Jake gave them clean clothes from his dresser, though everything was too big for their small frames. Maya fascinated Jake with her abilities. She could touch his television and change channels without using the remote. When his old laptop started running slowly, she placed her hand on the keyboard and somehow made it work like new. Luna explained that Maya had always been gifted with technology, even among their people. Luna was different. Sometimes Jake would look for her and find empty air, only to have her reappear moments later. She could walk through walls like they were made of water. When Jake asked about it, Luna said it was a survival skill her people developed during the war. On Monday morning, Jake was making coffee when Maya suddenly grabbed his arm. Her silver eyes went wide with fear. "They found us," she whispered. "Many vehicles approaching, armed people inside." Jake looked out his window and saw nothing unusual. The street looked the same as always. A few parked cars, some early commuters walking to the bus stop. Nothing strange. "I don't see anything," Jake said. "They are coming from multiple directions," Luna said, appearing beside them. "Maya can sense their electronic equipment. We need to leave now." Before Jake could ask more questions, the sound of heavy boots echoed in the hallway outside his apartment. Someone was running up the stairs, and they were not trying to be quiet about it. A loud bang shook Jake's front door, then another. On the third impact, the door exploded inward. Men in black tactical gear poured into the apartment, pointing. "Weapons at everyone inside!" "Nobody move!" shouted the first man through the door. "Hands where we can see them! A woman in a dark suit walked in behind the tactical team. She was tall with short blonde hair and cold blue eyes. She looked around Jake's apartment like she was inspecting a crime scene. "Mr. Murphy," she said, her voice sharp and professional. "My name is Agent Rebecca Cole. You have something that belongs to the United States government." "I don't know what you're talking about," Jake said, raising his hands. Luna and Maya stood behind him, ready to run or fight. Agent Cole smiled, but it was not a friendly expression. "The assets, Mr. Murphy. The two extraterrestrial beings you've been harboring for 3 days. We've been tracking them since they arrived on Earth." "How did you know they were here?" Jake asked. "The package you picked up was meant for a classified research facility," Agent Cole explained. "When it didn't arrive on schedule, we started investigating. Your delivery truck was recorded at the depot. Your work schedule was checked. Your apartment was surveilled." Maya stepped forward, and immediately 3 weapons pointed at her. She didn't seem afraid, which worried Jake more than the guns did. "We are not assets," Maya said, her voice calm, but firm. "We are refugees seeking help." "That's not how the law works," Agent Cole replied. "Any alien technology or beings found on United States soil become property of the federal government. You're coming with us." Luna grabbed Jake's hand. For a moment, her touch felt strange, like her fingers weren't completely solid. Then Jake felt a weird tingling sensation spread through his body. "Trust me," Luna whispered. The world around Jake became hazy and unclear. He could see Agent Cole and her team, but they looked like they were behind foggy glass. Luna pulled him toward the wall of his apartment, and to Jake's amazement, they walked right through it. They emerged in the hallway, with Maya appearing beside them a second later. Jake looked back and could hear Agent Cole shouting orders to her team. The tactical squad was searching his apartment, but somehow they could not see where Jake and the sisters had gone. "How did we do that?" Jake asked as they ran down the stairs. "I shared my phase-shifting ability with you temporarily," Luna said. "But it will not last long. We need to keep moving." They reached the ground floor and ran toward the back exit of the building. Jake could hear vehicles surrounding the front entrance. Agent Cole had brought a lot of people to collect 2 small alien refugees. Maya pressed her hand against the electronic lock on the back door. Sparks flew from the device and the door swung open. They ran into the alley behind Jake's building, just as black SUVs pulled up at both ends of the narrow passage. "This way," Jake said, leading them toward a maintenance tunnel he had noticed, while taking out trash. The tunnel connected to the old subway system that had been abandoned years ago. As they climbed down into the tunnel, Jake heard Agent Cole's voice echoing from his apartment window above. "Find them!" she shouted. "They can't have gone far." The tunnel was dark and smelled like old water and rust. Jake used his phone's flashlight to guide them through the narrow passage. Luna and Maya moved silently behind him, their alien grace helping them navigate the rough terrain. "Why does your government want us so badly?" Luna asked as they walked. Jake thought about it. Probably the same reason any government would want aliens: technology, weapons, information about other worlds. "We are not weapons," Maya said sadly. "We are teachers and healers. Our people have never been warriors." "That's why you had to run from this war," Jake said, understanding more about their situation. They reached an intersection where the maintenance tunnel connected to the old subway line. The space was larger here, with concrete platforms and rusted train tracks. Jake knew they could follow the tracks for miles underground, away from Agent Cole and her team. "Your people helped us when we had nowhere else to go," Luna said to Jake. "You could have called your authorities when you found us. Instead, you gave us food and shelter." "You seemed harmless," Jake replied, "and scared. I've never seen anyone look so tired and worried." Maya touched a broken light fixture on the wall. The old bulbs flickered and came to life, casting warm light through the abandoned station. "Your species is different from others we have encountered. Most would have turned us over to their leaders immediately." Most humans probably would, Jake admitted. I guess I'm not most humans. Behind them, they could hear the distant sound of boots and voices. Agent Cole's team had found the tunnel entrance. The chase was far from over. Jake, Luna, and Maya spent 2 days hiding in the abandoned subway tunnels beneath Chicago. They moved carefully through the dark passages, avoiding the areas where Agent Cole's teams were searching. Maya used her abilities to disable security, cameras and motion sensors, while Luna scouted ahead using her phase-shifting power to check for danger. On Wednesday morning, Jake was trying to sleep on a pile of old newspapers when Maya shook his shoulder gently. "Someone is coming," she whispered. "But this person feels different, not hostile like the others." Jake sat up and listened. He could hear footsteps echoing through the tunnel, but they were slow and careful, not like the heavy boots of Agent Cole's tactical teams. A woman's voice called out from the darkness. "Hello?" the voice said. "My name is Dr. Amanda Foster. I work for NASA. I'm here to help you." Luna appeared beside Jake, having just phased through a concrete wall to scout the area. "She is alone," Luna reported. "No weapons, no backup team waiting nearby." "Could be a trap," Jake said quietly. The footsteps came closer. A woman emerged from the shadows carrying only a small backpack and a flashlight. She was in her 40s with brown hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore jeans and a university sweatshirt, not the black suit and tactical gear that Agent Cole's people preferred. "I know you have reason not to trust anyone from the government," Dr. Foster said, stopping about 10 feet away. "But I'm not with Agent Cole's department. I work for NASA's Classified Contact Protocols Division." "Contact protocols?" Jake asked. Dr. Foster nodded. "We've had plans for alien contact since the 1960s. Different departments handle different scenarios. Agent Cole's people are focused on capturing and studying alien technology. My department is focused on communication and cooperation." Maya stepped forward, studying Dr. Foster with her silver eyes. "You are telling the truth," Maya said after a moment. "Your electromagnetic field shows no signs of deception." "You can read people like that?" Jake asked Maya. "All living beings produce electromagnetic patterns," Maya explained. "Humans are especially easy to read because your emotions affect your electrical activity." Dr. Foster smiled. "That's fascinating. We had theories about bioelectric sensing, but no proof until now." Luna remained cautious. "What do you want from us?" "Protection and cooperation," Dr. Foster replied. "Agent Cole's approach will only make enemies of your people when they come looking for you. My department believes first contact should be handled carefully and respectfully." Jake was tired of running and hiding. The sisters needed medical attention and proper food. Maya had been getting weaker each day, and Luna was having trouble maintaining her phase-shifting ability for long periods. "What kind of cooperation?" Jake asked. Dr. Foster opened her backpack and pulled out a folder. "A secure facility where Luna and Maya can rest and recover. In exchange, they share non-military knowledge about their civilization. No weapons research, no forced experiments, just cultural and scientific exchange." "Why should we trust you?" Luna asked. "Because I'm offering you a choice," Dr. Foster said. "Agent Cole wants to take you by force. I'm asking for voluntary cooperation. You can leave anytime you want." Maya touched Jake's arm. "She speaks the truth. Her intentions are honest." Jake looked at the sisters. Luna was trying to hide how exhausted she was, but Jake could see the strain in her silver eyes. Maya was pale and shaky, clearly needing rest and proper nutrition. "There's one condition," Jake said. "I go with them. They trust me, and I'm not letting anyone separate us now." Dr. Foster considered this. "You would be willing to serve as their human liaison?" "If that's what it takes." "Actually, that would be ideal," Dr. Foster said. "First contact protocols always work better with a trusted intermediary." Luna and Maya looked at each other, communicating in their musical language for a moment. Then Luna nodded to Dr. Foster. We will try your way, Luna said. But if you betray us like others have betrayed refugee populations, we will leave. Dr. Foster led them through a different section of the tunnel system to an unmarked van waiting in an empty parking garage. The ride to the facility took an hour, driving through parts of Chicago Jake had never seen before. The facility looked like an ordinary office building from the outside, but inside was clearly designed for scientific research. Dr. Foster brought them to a comfortable suite with separate bedrooms, a kitchen, and a common area with large windows. This is temporary housing, Dr. Foster explained. You can request anything you need: food, clothes, books, entertainment. The only requirement is that you meet with our research teams for a few hours each day. Maya immediately walked to the HFY window and placed her hand on the glass. The electrical systems in this building are very advanced, she said with interest. Much more sophisticated than most human technology we've seen. We've been preparing for this possibility for decades, Dr. Foster said. This facility was built specifically for hosting alien visitors. Over the next few days, Jake watched as the sisters began to relax for the first time since he'd found them. Luna shared information about interstellar geography and the political situation in their part of the galaxy. She explained that dozens of worlds were locked in a brutal war with something called the hegemony. The hegemony believes that only the strongest species deserve to survive, Luna told Dr. Foster during one of their meetings. They have destroyed entire civilizations that they considered weak or useless. Maya worked with human scientists, demonstrating her ability to interface with quantum computers. She could process information faster than any machine the humans had built, and she could solve complex mathematical problems by touching the computers directly. Your species is remarkable, Maya told Jake one evening as they ate dinner together. Most civilizations take thousands of years to develop the technology you've created in just a few centuries. Is that good or bad? Jake asked. Luna answered, It depends on what you do with that rapid advancement. Some species use their growth to help others. Some use it to conquer and destroy. Which do you think humans will choose? Jake asked. Maya smiled. We believe you will choose to help. That is why we agreed to stay and share our knowledge. Dr. Foster joined them at the table. There's something you need to know, she said, her expression serious. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected something approaching the outer solar system. A ship, much larger than anything humans have ever built. Luna's face went pale. How large? About the size of Manhattan, Dr. Foster replied. Maya grabbed Jake's hand. The hegemony has found us. The massive ship appeared on every radar screen and telescope on Earth within hours. News channels around the world showed the same impossible image, a dark metallic structure the size of a city floating beyond Neptune's orbit. Humanity's first. Contact with alien civilization was happening, whether they were ready or not. Jake sat in the facility's command center, watching world leaders argue on video screens. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals from every major nation were connected to the emergency conference call. Everyone was talking at once, and nobody was listening to anyone else. We should attack first, said one military official. Show. Then we won't be pushed around. With what weapons? Replied another voice. Our most advanced missiles would be like throwing rocks at a mountain. Dr. Foster turned to Luna and Maya, who were studying the data from the deep space sensors. What can you tell us about that ship? Luna's silver eyes reflected the glow from the computer screens. It is a hegemony dreadnought. They use ships like this to destroy entire planets. The fact that only one ship came means they think Earth will be easy to conquer. How do we fight something that big? Jake asked. You don't fight it directly, Maya said, her fingers dancing across the computer keyboard. You have to be smarter than they expect. The hegemony has conquered hundreds of worlds, but they always use the same tactics. A new signal appeared on the communication systems. The alien ship was trying to contact Earth. Dr. Foster looked at the world leaders on the video conference. They're attempting communication, she announced. Should we respond? The arguing stopped. Everyone stared at their screens, waiting for someone else to make the decision. Finally, the President of the United States spoke up. Put it through. Vikas. Screens filled with static, then cleared to show a creature that looked nothing like Luna and Maya. It stood nearly 8 feet tall with gray skin like stone and 4 arms ending in clawed hands. Its face was angular and harsh, with black eyes that showed no emotion. Greetings, primitive beings of the third planet, the creature said in perfect English. I am Commander Thane of the Hegemony Fleet. You are harboring stolen property that belongs to us. Jake felt Luna and Maya tense beside him. He could see fear in their eyes, but also anger. We demand the immediate return of the 2 Altarian criminals, Commander Thane continued. You will also surrender your planet to Hegemony Authority. Compliance will result in quick death for most of your population. Resistance will result in slow death for all. The President cleared his throat. Commander Thane, I am the leader of this planet's largest nation. We don't recognize your authority here, and we won't hand over 2 refugees who came to us seeking help. Commander Thane made a sound like grinding metal. Jake realized the creature was laughing. Your largest nation, Thane repeated. You divide your single planet into competing factions. This explains why your species remains so primitive. Maya stepped forward where the camera could see her. Hello, Thane. I see you're still hiding behind bigger ships instead of facing your enemies. Directly. The Hegemony commander's black eyes focused on Maya with obvious hatred. The young technician speaks. Did you enjoy watching your homeworld burn, little Altarian? I enjoyed watching your forces retreat when we fought back, Maya replied calmly. Luna joined her sister in front of the camera. The humans are under our protection now, Thane. If you attack Earth, you attack the Altarian resistance. 2 refugees cannot protect an entire planet, Thane said, especially when that planet's inhabitants are as weak and divided as these. Humans appear to be. Jake found himself stepping into view of the camera. He was just a delivery driver from Chicago, but he was tired of being talked down to by bullies, even alien ones. You're making a mistake, Jake said to the creature on the screen. Humans don't like being threatened. And we especially don't like bullies who pick fights with refugees. Commander Thane studied Jake with interest. And what will you do about it, primitive human? We'll fight back, Jake said simply. That's what humans do when someone tries to push us around. The connection ended abruptly. The screens went dark, leaving everyone in the command center staring at each other. Did a delivery driver just declare war on an alien empire? Asked one of the generals on the video conference. Looks like it, Jake said. Hope that's okay with everyone else. Dr. Foster turned to Luna and Maya. What happens now? Now they prepare to attack, Luna said. Thane will wait exactly 24 hours to let fear build among your population. Then he'll demonstrate his ship's weapons on one of your cities. Which city? Dr. Foster asked. Maya was already working at the computer, her abilities allowing her to process massive amounts of data instantly. Based on hegemony tactics, they'll choose a target that causes maximum psychological impact with minimal strategic value. Probably New York City or London. Can we evacuate them in time? Jake asked. There isn't time to evacuate 8 million people, Dr. Foster said. Luna stood up straight, and Jake could see her making a difficult decision. Maya and I won't let innocent humans die because of our presence here. We'll surrender ourselves. To save your cities. No, Jake said immediately. That's not happening. Jake is right, Maya said, surprising everyone. I've been analyzing human technological capabilities while working with your scientists. Your species has potential the hegemony hasn't encountered before. What kind of potential? Dr. Foster asked. Maya smiled, and for the first time since the alien ship appeared, she looked hopeful. The kind that wins wars, but we'll need to work together, and we'll need to work fast. Luna looked at the world leaders still connected to the video conference. Are your people willing to trust 2 alien refugees with your planet's defense? The president spoke for everyone. At this point, what choice do we have? Then let's get to work, Maya said, her fingers already flying across the keyboard. We have less than 24 hours to give humanity a fighting chance. Jake watched as Luna and Maya began coordinating with human scientists and military leaders around the world. The sisters who had arrived in his kitchen as helpless refugees were about to help Earth prepare for its first interstellar war. 20 hours remained before Commander Thane's deadline. Jake had never seen so many people working together so quickly. The facility that housed Luna and Maya became the center of Earth's defense coordination. Scientists, engineers, and military. Officials from every major nation worked alongside the 2 alien sisters. Maya spent most of her time connected to quantum computers, her electromagnetic abilities allowing her to process information faster than any human technology. She was designing something she called fusion disruptors, weapons that could theoretically damage the hegemony ship's power systems. The key is not trying to destroy their ship, Maya explained to a room full of generals and scientists. It's too big and too well protected. Instead, we target their energy systems. Even a dreadnought needs power to function. Luna worked with special forces teams, teaching them modified versions of her phase-shifting techniques. Humans couldn't fully phase through matter like she could, but they could learn to become temporarily invisible to most sensors. Your electromagnetic fields are different from ours, Luna told a group of Navy SEALs. But with the right equipment, you can bend light around yourselves for short periods. It won't last long, but it might be enough. Jake found himself in the strangest position of his life. World leaders called him directly to get updates from Luna and Maya. The 2 sisters trusted him more than any government official, so he became their unofficial translator and coordinator. The president of France wants to know if we can modify their submarine fleet, Jake told Maya during one of their brief breaks. Underwater attacks won't work against their ship, Maya replied, but submarines could hide our real weapons until we're ready to strike. Dr. Foster brought Jake coffee and a sandwich. He had barely eaten in 2 days, too busy helping coordinate. Earth's defense. How are you holding up? She asked. I keep thinking this is all crazy, Jake said. A week ago, I was delivering packages. Now I'm helping plan humanity's first space battle. The sisters chose well when they trusted you, Dr. Foster said. You're keeping everyone focused on what matters. Luna appeared beside them, using her phase-shifting ability to move quickly between different areas of the facility. Jake, we need you in the communications room. The Chinese military has a question about the electromagnetic pulse weapons. Jake followed Luna through the busy corridors. Scientists and engineers from around the world were working on projects he couldn't even pronounce. Some were building new types of missiles. Others were modifying satellites to carry Maya's fusion disruptors. In the communications room, a Chinese general was arguing with a British scientist about weapon placement. They had been going back and forth for an hour without reaching any agreement. The satellites need to be positioned exactly here, the British scientist was saying, pointing at a diagram of Earth's orbit. That puts them too close to our space station, the Chinese general replied. We cannot risk our astronauts. Jake looked at the diagram and saw the problem immediately. Why not use both positions? He suggested. Put half the satellites where Dr. Peterson wants them and half where General Liu suggests. That way you have backup weapons if some get destroyed. Both men stared at Jake like he had said something brilliant. Sometimes the simple solution was the right one. Maya burst into the room, her silver eyes wide with excitement. I've finished analyzing the hegemony ship's energy patterns. They're using a power source I've never seen before. Is that bad news? Jake asked. It's the best news possible, Maya said. Their power system is based on controlled black hole technology. It's incredibly powerful, but it has one major weakness. Luna appeared in the room. What weakness? If you disrupt the containment field around their black hole even slightly, the entire ship becomes unstable, Maya explained. They would have to retreat or risk being destroyed by their own power source. Dr. Foster looked at the data Maya was displaying. How do we disrupt something that advanced? With something they don't expect, Maya said, smiling. Human creativity. Maya's plan was unlike anything the hegemony had encountered before. Instead of trying to match their advanced technology, humans would use their biggest advantage, the ability to think in ways other species couldn't imagine. The plan required perfect timing and cooperation between every military force on Earth. Russian submarines would launch the first wave of missiles to get the alien ship's attention. While Commander Thane was focused on the submarine threat, American and European satellites would move into position around the hegemony vessel. The satellites will look like communication equipment, Maya explained to the assembled military leaders. Thane won't see them as weapons until it's too late. Japanese and Indian space agencies would provide the final component, modified rockets, carrying Luna's phase-shifting technology. The rockets would appear to miss their target, but they would actually phase through the ship's outer hull and detonate inside the power containment system. One question, Jake said. What if this doesn't work? Luna and Maya looked at each other. They had been having the same worry. Then Earth becomes another dead world in the hegemony's empire, Luna said quietly. But we don't think that will happen. Why not? Dr. Foster asked. Because humans are different from every other species we've met, Maya said. Most civilizations fight the way they're expected to fight. Humans fight the way no one expects them to fight. With 4 hours left until the deadline, all of Earth's defense systems were in position. Jake stood in the command center watching displays that showed military units from every continent. Russian submarines were submerged in the Pacific Ocean. American satellites were disguised as space debris near the alien ship. Chinese and European missile batteries were hidden on the dark side of the moon. This is either going to be humanity's finest hour, Jake said to Luna and Maya, or our last hour. It will be both, Luna replied. Every species faces this moment when they join the galactic community. The question is whether they join as conquerors, victims, or something new. Maya took Jake's hand. We believe humans will choose to be something new. Commander Thane's voice filled the communications room exactly 24 hours after his first message. Your time is up, primitives. Prepare to witness the power of the hegemony. Jake looked around the command center at all the humans working together. Scientists from Japan collaborating with engineers from Brazil, military officers from enemies' nations coordinating attacks, world leaders putting aside their differences to protect their shared planet. Commander Thane, Jake said into the microphone, you're about to learn why threatening Earth was the biggest mistake you ever made. The battle for Earth lasted 6 hours and changed the galaxy forever. Commander Thane made his first mistake by underestimating human coordination. When he fired his ship's main weapon at New York City, every military force on Earth was ready. The energy beam that should have destroyed Manhattan instead struck a series of specially positioned mirrors that redirected the blast harmlessly into space. Impossible! Thane's voice crackled over the communication system. How did primitives develop such precise defensive technology? We had good teachers, Jake replied, looking at Luna and Maya with pride. The second phase of Earth's defense began immediately. Russian submarines launched their missiles from 12 different locations across the Pacific Ocean. The weapons were designed to fail, creating spectacular explosions that drew all of the hegemony ship's attention toward Earth's surface. While Thane focused his ship's defenses on the submarine attack, American and European satellites moved silently into position around the alien vessel. Maya had disguised the weapons as simple communication equipment, making them invisible to the hegemony's sensors. Beginning Phase 3, Dr. Foster announced from the command center. Japanese and Indian rockets launched simultaneously from hidden bases on the moon's far side. The projectiles appeared to be standard nuclear missiles, but Luna had modified them with her phase-shifting technology. Commander Thane's ship destroyed the first wave of rockets easily. The second wave seemed to miss their target completely, passing harmlessly through empty space. Thane's tactical computers registered the attacks as failed human desperation. Then Maya activated the satellites. The fusion disruptors fired in perfect synchronization, targeting the exact points where the hegemony ship's black hole containment system was most vulnerable. At the same moment, the rockets that had appeared to miss their target reappeared inside the alien vessel's power core. The hegemony dreadnought, which had destroyed hundreds of worlds, began to tear itself apart from the inside. "Containment failure," Maya announced, watching the data streams from her quantum computers. "Their black hole is destabilizing." On the main screen, everyone watched as the massive alien ship flickered in and out of existence. Parts of the vessel were being pulled into its own power source, while other sections were being expelled at incredible speeds. Commander Thane's final transmission was barely understandable through the static. "This is impossible. No primitive species has ever defeated hegemony technology." "Maybe you should stop calling us primitives," Jake suggested. The alien ship vanished in a flash of light that was visible from Earth without telescopes. Where the massive dreadnought had been, only empty space remained. The command center erupted in cheers. Scientists hugged generals. Military officers from enemy nations shook hands and patted each other on the back. Dr. Foster was crying with relief and joy. But Luna and Maya stood quietly, their silver eyes focused on the deep space sensors. "What's wrong?" Jake asked them. "We won." "This was just the beginning," Luna said. "Thane's ship was broadcasting everything that happened here back to the hegemony fleet. They know that humans can fight back now." "Is that bad?" Jake asked. Maya smiled. "It's the best thing that could have happened. For thousands of years, no species has successfully resisted the hegemony. Other worlds that have been conquered will hear about Earth's victory." Over the following weeks, Luna's prediction proved correct. The sisters' hidden communication equipment began receiving messages from across the galaxy. Planets that had been enslaved by the hegemony were rising in rebellion. Species that had been scattered as refugees were organizing resistance movements. "Earth has become a symbol," Luna explained to the United Nations Assembly 6 months after the battle. "You showed the galaxy that the hegemony can be defeated." Jake found his life completely transformed. The delivery driver who had accidentally received 2 alien refugees became Earth's first interstellar relations coordinator. He worked from a new facility built specifically for communication with other worlds. Maya's technological innovations revolutionized human science. The computers she designed could solve problems in minutes that would have taken human scientists years to figure out. Her electromagnetic manipulation techniques led to new forms of clean energy that ended Earth's environmental problems. Luna established the first diplomatic protocols for contact with alien civilizations. Her phase-shifting abilities made her an ideal ambassador, since she could visit other worlds without needing spacecraft or protective equipment. The Sol Alliance grew from Earth's victory over the hegemony. Within 2 years, 47 different planets had joined the Mutual Defense Pact. Species that had never cooperated before worked together to build a new kind of galactic civilization. "It's ironic," Jake said one evening as he, Luna, and Maya watched a news report about the latest planet to join the Alliance. "You came here as refugees running from a war. Now you're helping to end that war." "We found something on Earth that we had lost on our own world," Luna replied. "Hope." Maya was upgrading the facility's communication systems, her hands moving in complex patterns as she interfaced directly with the quantum processors. "Humans taught us that being peaceful doesn't mean being helpless. You can choose not to fight, but you should always be ready to defend those who cannot defend themselves." 3 years after Jake had found the sisters in his stake package, Earth welcomed the first official Altarian colony ship. Thousands of Luna and Maya's people had survived the war by hiding on distant worlds. Now they were coming to join the humans who had given them hope again. Jake stood on the observation deck of the new orbital station, watching as the beautiful silver ship approached Earth. Luna and Maya stood beside him, no longer the frightened refugees he had discovered in his kitchen. "Any regrets about that delivery mix-up?" Maya asked with a grin. Jake laughed. "Best mistake I ever made, though I still never got those steaks." Luna put her hand on Jake's shoulder. "When this ceremony is over, Maya and I will cook dinner for you. It's the least we can do for the human who changed everything." Below them, Earth glowed blue and green in the sunlight. Ships from dozens of different worlds traveled peacefully between the planet and its new orbital facilities. The species that had once seemed so alien to Jake now felt like family. The galaxy was still dangerous. The hegemony still controlled many worlds and commanded vast fleets, but they were no longer unopposed. The Sol Alliance grew stronger every month, and more. Importantly, it grew more united. "What happens next?" Jake asked. Maya was already working on new projects, her silver eyes reflecting data streams from across the galaxy. "Next, we help other refugees find new homes. We share our technology with species that need it. We build something better than what came before." "And if the hegemony tries to attack Earth again?" Luna smiled, and Jake could see the confidence that had grown in her over the past 3 years. "Then they'll discover that threatening our new home was an even bigger mistake than threatening our old one." Jake nodded and turned back to watch the Altarian colony ship complete its approach to Earth. The delivery driver who had thought he was picking up steak had ended up helping to pick up the pieces of a broken galaxy and put them back together into something stronger. It was, he decided, a pretty good trade.